I still think I want to move away from Cardinal. I'll go back to PWM though.
Good morning, everyone. This is Serena with the Mark I Real Estate Wealth Academy. We're going to get started with our rejection-free selling presentation here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to give a few more people some time to finish logging in, and then we'll get started. I'll be back in touch in just a minute. Thanks, everyone. All right, good morning, everyone. This is Serena again with the Real Estate Wealth Academy. It's my pleasure to introduce you to the founder of the Mark I Real Estate Wealth Academy, Mark Prather, and he's going to go ahead and get started with our rejection-free selling presentation. Mark.
All right, thank you, Serena, and welcome to our presentation today. You know, I've been in the real estate industry since I was 18. Now, I know it may only look like that's been about 10 or 12 years. Actually, 44 and a half years. And what I've learned over my career about selling, about real estate, and about wealth growth is very profound. I've made a lot of money, millions of dollars in this industry. I've learned how to sell at an elite level, and I'm going to share with you how you can sell with virtually no rejection. There's a process that we're going to walk through today that when we get to the end, you're going to get it, and you're going to see why what seems impossible is so very possible. What I'm going to show you, we've been building this program. You know, Serena and I, she joined my company about 6.5 years ago, and I had this vision of taking all these things that I've learned over my long career and building this platform that we now call the Mark I Real Estate Wealth Academy. What we are doing is growing. It is absolutely on fire. It is growing at an incredible level. And if you're watching this today, you have a unique opportunity in your life. The opportunity that all of us want to have is when something is red hot and is exploding and is going to change the landscape to get in on the early stages. What we're doing is working at a massive level. I mean, it is powerful, and you will see, and you can see in some of the points here. I'm going to show you how you can beat Zillow, where you can create clients before they go to Zillow and Redfin in that. Where Zillow no longer even becomes a competitor for you, because Zillow, I don't know if you know this, but 100% of consumers, when they have the idea of I need to go buy real estate, start on the internet, 65% of them start at Zillow. And then you throw in Redfin and a few others, and it's an enormous percentage. I'm gonna show you how to eliminate Zillow as a competitor. Number two is how to convert 90% of your prospect appointments into a client. You know, my goal used to be, when I would get prospect appointments, was to convert 25%. I thought if I could convert 1 out of 4 into a client, that was a good percentage. what I'm sharing with you, what we, our educational program converts 90% of them, 90% of prospects into clients. And then once you get into clients, then the next step is just converting them into sales, and that's the easiest part. And you'll see why as we go through this presentation. So why this presentation is different is if you struggle with selling real estate, it's not your fault because the real estate industry has changed. Selling residential real estate is harder than it's ever been. AI, artificial intelligence technology, are making it harder for agents because they have commoditized the real estate industry, and this is reducing agent. And if you've ever thought there has to be an easier way or a better way, then you're right. And I'm going to show you that in this presentation. After this webinar, you will know how to blow away your competition, including Zillow and Redfin, and sell more real estate than you ever imagined possible. My goal from this webinar is I'm show you how you can capture clients on autopilot before Zillow and Redfin can, how you can end prospecting rejection, and number 3 is eliminate your competition by bringing a level of expertise that other agents simply cannot. As you said, I'm Mark Prather, founder of the Mark One Real Estate Wealth Academy. You can see I've been in the industry since 1977. I've written 3 books. I have a 4th book coming out here shortly. The book that is focused on what we're going to talk about today is Why the Rich Stay Rich and the Poor Stay Poor. And as I said, what I'm going to share with you and what we've developed, I've never been in the place that I find myself in right now. And what I'm referring to is in a place that I'm bringing a value to the marketplace that is desperately needed with virtually no competition. Now, I want you to think about that. Imagine positioning yourself in a place where you can bring a value that is needed by at least 80% of the people and having no competition. I call it, it's like being the sparkless man and selling water in the desert. That's what we're going to go over today. I'm going to show you how we can position you that way and how you can get board with this snowball that we have that's just growing at an incredible rate. This is me where I'm with Jason Risley. Jason is with is one of the top real estate agents in Orange County. We've been on this TV show a few times, The American Dream. Here I'm with Sai Ghaffari, who is a founder of Money, Real Estate, and More, and interviewing us about what we're doing with the Real Estate Wealth Academy. So where my journey began, as I said, I started in the real estate industry at 18 years old. And then after a year of selling real estate, this is where I got exposed to the loan industry, the mortgage industry, and I moved over, became a loan officer. Did phenomenally well, and after about 3 years at age 22, I left the company I was with and started my own company, Mark One Mortgage, which I've had ever since. Now, my family journey, I grew up as a kid in Compton until I was about 14, and then we moved to Orange County in Buena Park, went to high school there. But here's my point. In my family, and both my parents' side, there's large families. 14 each side, 28 total. Not one had a high school diploma. There was no education. If you look at the various levels, most of my family was at the poverty level of kind of the mid-poverty level, but the goal was to get out of poverty and get to the middle class. So I've made this journey of no education, no money, and really the lowest economic level to the middle class and now well beyond that. And I share this with you because the biggest challenge that I have with agents and with consumers is what they believe. All of us have belief systems that are tied into our own life experience, and those belief systems limit us. I've made this journey, and what is possible for you in your life and your career is so beyond what you believe. But it all comes down to really one thing: what you know. So you don't know what you don't know. I'm going to share with you in this presentation what you don't know. And I hope that your beliefs, because I know it's going to rock your world, But at the same time, and I know you're going to get nervous and go, oh, I don't know if this is really the answer for me or not. But I want you to know I've made the journey, and you don't need to know because I know, and I will teach you and guide you the way to elevate your life, your career, and to put you in an incredible place. All right, how artificial intelligence is impacting real estate agents. Number one is the commoditization of real estate. Houses, what Zillow has essentially done is they are basically putting houses in the same category as other commodities like TVs. And you're seeing the same thing with cars. Everything has been simplified at such a level where people are buying cars online, and now they're starting to buy houses online. Zillow and Redfin are on the top of the food chain. Zillow is the most powerful brand in real estate, and it's not even close. Their whole game plan is basically to become the Amazon of real estate. And we see what Amazon has done to retail. Retail has been devastated, and Zillow is not far behind them. Agents now are spending a ton of money on buying leads. They waste number one complaint I get from agents is the amount of time they waste chasing bad leads. They're iBuyers now. That's a big part of Zillow's plan. Commission levels are coming down, and clients are disloyal, and it all comes down to the key point of they just don't see the value. See, here's how the world of real estate has been commoditized. The world of consumers, they have this in their mind. They reach a decision and say, well, I need to buy. So what's the next thought? In the old days, when I was in the business, here were their options. They could drive around looking for signs, which that got old real quick. They could go through the newspaper and look at all the different ads and call agent after agent. But they knew the agents controlled the MLS information, and it was clear to them what the agent value was. So there was a thing called walk-ins. They would literally walk into real estate offices, floor time. Doesn't work that way anymore now. Where do they all go? 100% go online and 65% at Zillow. So what's happened is the agents have been moved down in the food chain, and their greatest value, which was control of the information, was removed. So their value diminished dramatically. And this is why Zillow went in the real estate industry. I am telling you, they went in the real estate industry for one reason, because they absolutely positively believe they can replace the independent contractor agent. And they're going to bring these agents in and put them in as minimum wage plus bonuses and going in that direction. And most agents and most brokerages don't believe there's a way to stop this, because they see this model of, I need a house, I have to go online, and there's no way, and I have to be below Zillow. I'm going to show you how you can leapfrog over Zillow and make Zillow irrelevant to your business. We have changed the game. When I say we, Mark One Real Estate Wealth Academy has changed the rules of the game in a way that agents can dominate the business again and dominate the industry. You can do things that Zillow and those agents and these other tech companies simply cannot. And I'm going to show you what those things are. But I want you to really understand the challenge in front of you. It all starts with how you think, what you believe, and what your psychology is. Okay, if we look at this little triangle or this pyramid, on the top, there's 3 to 4% of consumers that are in the market to make a significant purchase. Now, this applies not just to real estate, but to any significant purchase. Here's what Zillow did, which was absolutely genius, and it's the same thing that Amazon has done. Is Zillow created this model of the Zestimate, right? Go online, check out your home value. But basically, here's what they've done: is up at the top, you have the world of consumers. That's the 3 or 4% they're marketing, and they built a funnel where that 3 or 4% now pass states. And now they can cherry pick that business in the same way that Amazon does. And so now all the agents are chasing this 3 or 4%, but they're at the bottom of the food chain. But I want to show you how you, one is people that are already in the market. I'm going to show you how you can blow away Zillow as a competitor. But there's a better market and an easier way, a more powerful way. Now, the second level, it says 7 to 10% of consumers are real estate investors, meaning they own 2 or more properties. In LA County, it's only 7%, Orange County 10%, nationwide it's about 8%. Here's my point in bringing this up. 8% of the people in this country own a rental. That's it. What does that tell you the American people believe about real estate as an investment? They don't believe. 65% have a 401k or IRA. 40%, now numbers are California based. 40% of the homeowners, that's all they own. They own a home, but they also have a 401k or IRA. And 50% of the people approximately are renters. Of that 50% of the renters, 10% can buy right now, but they choose not to. So here's the key question, is why do so few people believe in real estate? 65% have a 401k or an IRA. They want to be financially secure. They want to at least have the choice to retire, but they don't believe in real estate. Here's why. The limited belief that agents have. You know, when I ask agents, if I was to ask 100 agents, what do you sell? When I ask agent, what do you sell? I get one or two answers. About 80% of them say, I sell houses, and about 20% say, I sell real estate. Selling houses is like selling a commodity. That's what Zillow is doing. Is not good enough anymore. And this is why you're dealing with the massive rejection. Think about any commodity. You don't really need the salesperson. If you're buying, you just go online and you just buy it. And as the consumer believes the salesperson is bringing lower and lower value, they want to deal with them less and less. This limited belief of I sell houses is the struggle, and I'm going to show you how we can change that by providing life-altering value. And we, as I said, we have perfected this process from marketing, through our scripts, through our conversations, through our client appointments, all the way into the sales process. We're going to show you how to expand your market dramatically and end rejection. You're not going to have to deal with rejection. It's a completely different approach. Here's the thing that is so critical to your success. It's called the big domino. Now here's what the big domino is a marketing term, and this is what the technology companies have perfected. The big domino starts off with, it's 3 steps. Is the first step is you have what the consumer needs are. The consumer has a need, so you start with the consumer. The next level is they have the desire, okay, the desire, the need. The next level is there's an obstacle, there's a problem. They know what they want, they have this problem, but there's an obstacle in them getting the solution to that. And the big domino is when they believe that you are the only path to the solution to the major problem they have. Now, let me give you a quick example of what I'm talking about. Let's say you get served a lawsuit. Maybe you have a client, someone that's unhappy, and you get served a lawsuit. Well, that's the problem, right? What's the solution? Solving the lawsuit, getting rid of the problem. Now you have a choice. You can defend yourself and respond to this lawsuit on your own, or you can hire a lawyer. 99% of the people are going to hire a lawyer. Why? Because they believe the lawyer is the better way to solving this problem. So the lawyer is the big domino in providing the solution. Lawyers are this way, CPAs, doctors, and so on. I'm going to show you how we can position you exactly like the lawyer or the CPA at a level where the consumer looks at you and go, yeah, you know, I do have a significant challenge. And I have a significant need, and I have no way in hell of knowing how to get there except through you. And think about how powerful that is. Here's the major problem that more Americans have than any other. It is financial security. Do you know the #1 thing people stress about? I'm gonna ask, what is the #1 problem? What is the #1 stress in America that people have? You know the answer? It's money. over 80% of Americans in every age category, young, midlife people, seniors, number one worry, number one stress is money. 77% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 80% of Americans are struggling to save money and retire. And less than 10% of them believe in real estate. You're the solution to this problem. Money is the number one cause of stress. How many people do you know struggling to save money? Think about that. How many people do you know? What percentage of the people you know are worried about money 24/7? What if you could solve this problem and get paid doing it? How big would your market size be? Now, I want you to think about this. How big is that market of people worried about money, stressing about money, can't save money, worried about retirement? How big is that market? I'm going to tell you how big it is. 1% of the people in this country own over 50% of the wealth. 10% of the people in this country own over 90% of the wealth. So 10% of the people are pretty much good. But the middle class is the 40 percentile to the 90. That 40 to 90 percentile are worried about money, and they're struggling to save money. Now, the bottom 40%, they're worried about money too, but they are at a level of poverty that we really can't help them. They don't make enough money. They don't have good enough jobs, or they're part-time or whatever, or they're flat unemployed. But the 40 to 90 percentile is worried about money. That's how big your market size is. 50% of the people in this country are worried and struggling to save money, and we can convert them, and we are converting them pretty much on a daily basis. I'm going to show you how we can bring them into the market, how we can position you as this big domino and create clients and create business at an incredible level. The three secrets we're going to cover in this presentation is, number one, you're the solution to the consumer struggle to save money, building serious wealth and retirement. You can bring these solutions. Consumers want this solution. They don't believe the solution is, but you're the solution, and I'm going to show you why that's the case. Number two, selling is easy when consumers see you as their guide to wealth, retirement, and the life of their dreams. This is the big domino. When they see you as the solution to the life of their dreams, of how to build wealth and how to retire without the struggle of saving money. And number three is you can get started in this journey with no upfront costs. Oops, there we go. Oh, okay. All right, secret number one. Over my life of investing, I've learned that not only does real estate outperform the stock market by triple, but it grows wealth and retirement income on autopilot without saving money. See, when consumers see you as this path to build wealth and retire without saving money through our real estate wealth building strategies, I'm going to share how we market, how we start a quick conversation, how we don't have to deal with the rejection, how we get into consultations. And you're not going to believe the flow of this. All right. Real estate is the fastest and safest path to wealth and retirement income without saving money. I'm going to prove that to you right now. Because think about this. How many people want to know what's the fastest, what is their fastest and safest path to building wealth? Well, we all want to know this. You know, when I got in this industry, I was very young, but when I started my own company at 22, I was making good money. And that was the biggest question I had. Fastest and safest path to wealth. When I would ask people, who do I talk to? I said, look, what's the best way to go? They would point me to a financial planner. I interviewed all kinds of financial planners. I hired 2 guys. What do you think they told me the fastest and safest path to wealth was? What financial planners tell you? Set up a 401k or an IRA and save as much as you can, and let me put it in the stock market. Now, when I knew some very wealthy people in the real estate industry, big time investors, and I would ask them, and here's what they would say. What's real estate? Not stocks, real estate. But when I asked them to prove it, they couldn't prove it. See, if you can't prove something, it doesn't mean anything. As a real estate agent, if you go to a consumer and say, well, you know, everybody knows real estate is the fastest and safest path to wealth, are they going to believe you as a salesperson? No, you know that. What are they going to say? Okay, well, prove it. I'm going to prove it to you right now. And then I'm going to show you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. But let me show you, I've created a little presentation that I use in our client consultations. And we do these, we do live consumer events. We've been doing them for a few years now. We put them online. But I'm going to show you how we can prove that real estate will blow away every other investment. All right, I create this poker chip presentation. So the red chips are your money. So let's say you put $1 in the bank. $1 in the bank, you get 1%. So $1, 1% means 1 cent. Now the truth is you're not even going to get 1 cent in the bank. But there's 3 problems with this. First is 1% is not very much money, which is more like 1/4%, 0.5%. Second problem is you're actually losing money because inflation is running more like 2.5%, 3%. Nationally, inflation's averaged about 3% over the last 100 years. In California, it's even higher than that. So you're actually losing money, but here's why I created the poker chip presentation, because here's the worst part. That's a complete blind spot for people. This is what I call linear wealth growth. I mean, you're only making money in a straight line on your money. You're never going to get rich that way. Now, the financial planner is going to say, set up a 401k or an IRA. So here's another $1. We put $1 in the 401k or my IRA, and it goes in the stock market. Now, let's say this is 8%. Let's say you get 8%. 8% of the stock market, way better than the bank. But here are the problems going this route. Problem number 1, if you're young, you're not going to get any help along the way. The soonest you can get any income off of your 401k or IRA is 59.5. So if you're 30 years old, you get no help in your 30s, 40s, or 50s. Wouldn't you like to have an investment that's creating income for you right now and helping you? So that's the next problem. Next is when you retire and you start pulling this money out, this isn't all your money. About 1/3 of it's going to go to the state of California and the federal government. So it's income taxed at a heavy level. But here's the worst part, is that it's the same as the bank. It's linear wealth growth. You're only making money on your money. You know, when I did these events, we were at the different hotels, and I would ask the audience, how many of you believe you're going to get rich saving money in a 401k or IRA? What percentage do you think raise their hand? 0. They know. See, they know that the 401k IRA is not about being rich. It's at best a Band-Aid. Well, if you can become wealthy, why would you do that? All right, let me show you the difference with real estate. We put another $1 in the bank. We put another $1 where we're purchasing property, 10% down. Here's 9 chips. We borrow 90% from the bank. Now, if you put 10% down, you get 9 from the bank. If you own a $10 asset, where do you think you're going to make money? A $10 asset or a $1 asset? We know the answer. $10, much bigger asset, right? Because we're starting at a much higher place. So here's the first economic benefit of real estate. There's 5 economic benefits. Here's number 1, is leverage. You're making money not just on your money, but you're making money in the bank. So, and as you probably aware, you can buy with little or no money down. But here's what's awesome about real estate. Let's say when you put 3%, 5%, 10% down, you get this property. And in this scenario, it's 10% down. The bank loans you 90%, but you get 100% of the profits. The bank's getting their return on 3% rate or whatever, but you're getting 100% of the profits. Real estate has appreciated at 7.3% a year for the past 54 years. Now, I'm only going to take 5%. So I'm stacking the deck in favor of the stock market, 8 versus 5. So 5% of $1 is 5 cents. 5% of $10 though is 50 cents. So let me show you what that looks like. Here's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now, this is the second economic benefit, which is appreciation. So we've got leverage, appreciation. We've already blown away the stock market. We've only covered 2 economic benefits, but there's 3 more. Next is principal pay down. Every time you make a payment, your loan balance goes down. So you get a percentage is interest, a percentage is principal. Right now, with interest rates being so dramatically low, the percentage of principal reduction is more than ever, but you're building wealth on autopilot. All right, next is we have tax benefits. You can write off, if it's your home, you can write off the mortgage interest up to $750,000. You may or may not be able to write off some of the property tax depending on your income tax bracket. But if it's a rental, then you can write off all the mortgage, all the property taxes, and you get depreciation. And I'm not going to get into the mechanics of explaining depreciation right now, but the tax write-offs that real estate has are dramatic, and they blow away the stock market because the stock market doesn't have any. You get full ordinary income tax. But here's the last, is if you turn your home into a rental, you get rental income, and rental income basically goes one way. It goes up. Now here's the thing, is you can see the difference. Same $1, look at the wealth growth difference between real estate and stocks because of the 5 economic benefits. But here's what's even better. Here's my favorite part. And I call this the secret sauce to real estate. I mean, this is truly the secret to real estate and wealth growth. Is the bank loaned you in this scenario 90% of the money. If you were to turn your house into a rental and you rent it, now you got the tenant paying you rent. You take the tenant's money and pay the bank's loan off. So here's the question. If I loan you money and your friend pays off my loan, isn't my loan free money? And the answer is absolutely. See, real estate, through real estate, and it's the only asset you can do this, you can create millions of dollars of free money. Why can you do it in real estate and not in stocks or any other investment? Here's the reason, one reason. It's called the utility value. Now, if you've been in real estate any length of time, you probably never heard this. I never heard it. I figured this out when I was investing and growing, that this utility value is worth millions of dollars. Here's what that means. When you put money in stocks, you get paper. Can't use it for anything. There's no utility to it. You put money in real estate, you get land and a structure. That land and a structure can be used. Either you can use it or you can sell the usage of it. And we call that rent to a tenant. And that utility value is an X factor to create millions of dollars of free money. Now I'm going to show you, this is one step, but it's much more powerful than this. These are the things of how we get people's attention, and I do this in every one of our client consultations. All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, so here are the 5 economic benefits I just covered. Leverage, which is right here, the bank money, the mortgage pay down, the rental cash flow, the tax benefits, and the appreciation. So this is why real estate blows. What do you think about this from a sales perspective? What percentage of people want to know the fastest and safest path to wealth? Well, the short answer is all of them, but you got to be able to prove it. All right, secret number 2, selling is easy when consumers see you as their guide to wealth, retirement, and the life of their dreams. Clients will buy more, cancel less, and will refer more clients when they understand that you are the guide to wealth. We will position you as what we call a real estate wealth advisor. And I'll show you how we do that, and we have a certification process and so on, but we're going to show you how to position you and differentiate you. And this is why Zillow is crushing the real estate agent, because they've commoditized it. So we need to differentiate you with a higher level of expertise. We're going to show you how we market in our scripts and the process of how you can sell in a position where you're not just selling a house. Here's what you're selling: how to build wealth and retire without saving money. How many people do you think want to know how to do that? Now here's another example. Remember I talked about the utility value. I'm going to show you what the utility value is worth in dollars and cents. Let's say we're talking to a renter and they have $120,000 that they put in stock. So they get $120,000 worth of stock and they make 8% a year, but they're renting and they're paying $3,000 a month in rent because you cannot live in your stocks, right? So they're renting. and their rents go up 4% a year. Now, by the way, LA and Orange County go up more like 5.5% a year. So only using 4%. In 30 years, their stock portfolio is $1,207,000, but they would have paid over $2 million in rent. So the reality is renters are losing money every single day. Renters are going backwards every single day. Renters are losing the inflation battle, and they don't know it. How many agents do you know have showed this to renters? Only ones who've been through our program. Now, let's say someone takes that same 120 grand, 20% down, and buys a $600,000 property, and they only get 5%. California's 50+ year historical average 7.3. We're not using the 7.3. We're only using the 5. Again, we are stacking the deck in favor of stocks. Here's a PITI 3279. The reality is it's actually a little lower because this was at a higher rate of about 4%. In 30 years, the property's worth over $2.5 million, more than double the stock market, and it's actually going to be worth more. If you do 7% return, it's going to be more like over $3 million. You would have paid $1.1 million, $1,180,000 over that loan over the 30 years, and now you own it free and clear. $90,000 for like carpet and paint, basic maintenance. Net profit $1,322,000. So here's the point: someone that is renting and trying to save their way to financial security versus just a homeowner, there's an over $2 million wealth gap. Again, how many agents do you know presenting this to their clients? We have a conversation, we call it how to convert renters into buyers in 5 minutes or less. But it gets even better. Now, let's say we're talking to one of your people in your database that's a homeowner, and they believe in the 401k or IRA. Remember, 65% of the people don't believe in real estate. They're going the way of the 401k or IRA. They own this home, but now they turn their house into a rental, and they're collecting $3,000 a month. Same 4% inflation rate. But here's the big difference. Now they've collected $2 million in rental income over the 30 years. Now we've beefed up the expenses because we put in property management, some other expenses. So we pumped those expenses up pretty significantly. And still, at only 5% appreciation, not the 7.3, we have over $3 million profit versus $1,207,000 in stocks. See, real estate on average will grow wealth at 3 times the speed of the stock market. So my question to you is, how is it possible that less than 10% of the people believe in real estate and 65% believe in stocks? If real estate outperforms stocks by 3 to 1, how is that possible? And the reason it is possible is because real estate agents believe they sell houses. Real estate agents do not believe that they sell wealth, that they sell retirement, that they sell financial security, that they sell the life of their dreams. They believe they sell a house. Well, selling houses isn't good enough anymore. Zillow, the real estate agents up, and it's going to get bloodier and worse. All right, secret number 3, you can get started in this journey with me with no upfront cost. I cannot make it any easier. We have an epic opportunity. You have an epic opportunity to change the financial landscape of this country, to help incredible numbers of people, because there are literally millions of people that need this help, and make a whole bunch of money in the process. But I know what you're thinking. Well, it sounds complicated. I just want to sell a house. But it's actually easy because we've perfected the process. And we help you because we do the wealth consultations. I'm going to show you how we do that. You will create more listings and do bigger sales. And here is why. See, typically, the average consumer will only buy 3 to 4 properties in their lifetime. Why? Because they don't believe in real estate. They buy 3, maybe 4 houses. We're going to show you where they're going to buy double or triple that. And here's how we create listings. We turn homeowners into, that's why we show them, let's just turn your house into a rental. Then we go buy another property. So that creates a sell right now. But then we show them the math in our consultations, and we've got all these custom financial calculators, and we do this, we run the numbers for you and them, And we show them using our forecast report, if they sell their house and take all that equity and put it into a duplex or a triplex, they're going to do even better in creating wealth and retirement income. So we have a strategy, which is how you can create one client, 3 sales within 6 months. They buy a property, they list and sell their house, and they buy a duplex, or we're getting a lot of people to buy a property and then add ADUs, doing a lot of those. So the recap, the secret one is you're the solution to consumers struggle to save money, build serious wealth and retirement. See, here's the question you need to ask yourself: which market's bigger? People looking for houses, looking to the solution to the struggle of saving money, building serious wealth, and being able to retire without saving money. Which market do you think is bigger? Number 2, selling is easy when consumers see you as their guide to wealth, retirement, and the life of their. See, when they see you as a real estate wealth expert, you become the big domino. You become the solution to a major problem in their life, which is they're tired of worrying about money. And again, secret number 3 is you can get started right now for $0. Here's what we're doing is, here's how we create all this business and this activity and eliminate rejection. There's a term. If you give, you will receive. Have you heard that? That's from the Bible. If you give, you will receive. We have created a program, and I have lived this program. I have experienced minimal rejection over my life because I followed this simple principle. If you give, you will receive. Don't give people a reason to reject you. I'm going to show you how we have a giving program. It is perpetual, nonstop giving to people. And people, when you're giving something that is powerful and profound and helpful to their lives, they are greatly appreciative of it. You can see, here's our website. You can go to mark1wealthacademy.com. Here's what you can see. Here's our program, Build Wealth and Retire Without Saving Money through our real estate wealth building strategies. Now, here's what's important about that. We are doing consumer events every month. We do 3 different consumer events. We're marketing this on, you can see on K-Fish Radio. We'll market on Facebook. We are doing all of this. You can plug right into it and participate with us. But here's what's important. Okay, and I want you to understand the psychology. Build wealth and retire without saving money. How many people are interested in that? They don't believe it at first, but then when they hear through our real estate wealth building strategy, they go, oh, what are those strategies? You can't just stop at real estate. You have to add the wealth building strategies, because the truth of the matter is, one is anybody can sell real estate, but just the fact that you can buy and sell real estate doesn't mean you're going to become wealthy. Because you can lose money in real estate just like you can in stocks if you don't know what you're doing. And the wealth building strategies, and if you want to get involved with this, we'll walk you through the consultations, and we do our training every Tuesday. But we get into custom wealth building strategies, and it varies depending on where someone is at in life, whether they're a renter or homeowner and how old they are. All right, create new clients with our rejection-free giving system, and here's how it works. Is we have 3 different events. One is our Build Wealth and Retire Without Saving Money through this program of Build Wealth and Retire Without Saving Money. This is what we call our broad-based message. People that are from basically, I would say 25, 30 to about 50 are really more focused on wealth than they are in retirement. But the word build wealth and retire will resonate with that category, that age category. The next level is we have a senior event. Seniors retire within 5 years without saving money through real estate. Now, what percentage of seniors do you think want to learn how they can retire within 5 years without saving money? It's like 90% of them. And number 3, why renting is a financial disaster. We do these events, we market these events. You can plug into these events and have an exclusive lead generation access to this. So they're just your leads. Here's how we do that. Here's our personalized lead generation landing page. This is Thomas Larini. You can see on there, Build Wealth and Retire Without Saving Money. Every month we shoot videos and we build these personalized landing pages, and you can see where it says register to watch the webinar and so on. And here's a little introduction, and you can go to, if you want to see, this is Thomas's, it'd probably be better if you went to mine. But this is how you can mark some, and this is part of creating this superior value, this big domino effect, and position yourself as this real estate wealth expert, addressing the huge problem that people have with the struggle of saving money and stressing about money and reaching financial security. And it gives you the credibility. Videos is where we're at. And so this is part of the process of building. See, the key to selling is trust. If nobody trusts you, you're not going to sell anything. But the key to trust is credibility. And credibility comes through tools like this and testimonials. Our personalized lead generation system, it's a one-time setup fee of $100 where you get this whole automated system where we shoot your video, build the landing page, you get everything in place for a one-time $100 fee. I mean, I can't make it any cheaper than that. That barely covers the cost of doing this. Stop chasing the bad leads. Stop the expensive marketing and buying. Stop losing to Zillow and Redfin. I mean, Zillow is coming after the residential real estate agent in a powerful way. The landscape, my personal prediction is we're going to have 40 to 50% fewer residential agents in the next 3 to 4 years. Stop having to cut your commission because of the perceived reduced value, and win loyal clients and the referrals you will get, because all of a sudden you become like the genie out of the bottle, because you're showing people how they can not just retire without saving, but in fact even become wealthy without saving money. Our lead generation system, you can get started now. You get 90 days, everything's free. The personal lead generation system, now you just got to pay for the setup if you want to film. If you don't want to have, if you don't have the $100, you don't want to do your personalized generation automated page, then that's fine. But we have ongoing marketing, weekly training every Tuesday, our free webinars, our free client welcome. But here's what you're seeing is we have all kinds of educational information, educational events, all of it's free. And so we have scripts where you're constantly calling and reaching out to every client, and you're giving. You're not saying, hey, do you want to buy a house? And they're going to say no. Here's what you're saying is you introduce yourself and say, hi, I'm Mark, I'm a real estate wealth advisor. What I do is I help my clients to build wealth and retire without saving money through the acquisition of real estate. Would you be interested in learning how you could build wealth and retire without saving money? And you get a double take, and they're like, what? And you get into the conversation, and this is part of it. And say, look, let me invite you to one of our free, so we're giving invitations, inviting them to free educational events, and we're giving them all kinds of information. And we're talking about the problem, the stress, and the worry of money. So we have the solutions to any of the stress of money, worrying about money. Let's eliminate the struggle of saving money, so you don't have to worry about that ever again. Let's get you on this path to becoming financially secure and being able to retire. These are some of the testimonials. If you go to our website, we have all kinds of consumer testimonials from our consumer consultations, from our consumer events, and from many agents in our program. What we are doing doesn't just work, it works at an epic level. You have an opportunity right now to get in on the ground floor. We are going to change America. We're going to change residential real estate forever. This new category, real estate wealth advisor, you can, I hope you can tell, I have zero doubt, because we have perfected this process. We've been building this for over 6 years, and it's been gradually growing as a snowball, just getting bigger and bigger, and now it's full bore. And you have a chance to get in on the ground floor. All right, to get started, you can do one of the things. You can go to our website, go to mark1wealthacademy.com. You can email us at info@mark1wealthacademy and say, I want to get started, and we will connect you with our people as far as explain a little bit more about the process. There's no commitment, there's no contract, there's really no money unless you want to come in and get your own personal landing page. If you have questions, now's the time we can take your questions on the program. So why don't we go ahead and go on the website and show them that. Sure. And if anybody has a question, type them in, and Serena and I will address whatever questions you have. All right, so you can see the website that we have here, and then let's scroll down and show them where the testimonials are. So the next level is we have what we call our launch meeting. And in our launch meeting, we do the training. Now, we do training every Tuesday from 10 to 11. We start training you through the sales process. And there's a 4-step sales process. And the sales process works this way. It's first, it's the scripts and the conversation. And we've got digital flyers and different things like that. And you get into the conversation and how you can market this program. It is really not hard to get people to talk about ending the struggle of saving money and how to end their financial stress. So that's part of what our launch kit, and we'll train you in that. We've got the financial tools. Then the next part is when you get that perfected, then it's breaking the ice with what we call our stadium pitch. Then it's perfecting the conversation. That's the second step. And then we get into a client consultation. And we can do these in person or we can do them online. So we do these client consultations, and this is where we take these prospects. You master the conversation, then we get into the client consultation, and that's where we will convert 90% of these prospects into clients. Now, when they buy with you or when they invest in real estate, depends on what their situation is. There are different factors. If they're already a homeowner, it tends to go more quickly. If they're a renter, what does their credit look like? What does their income look like? And those kinds of things. But we go through that process. But here's what's awesome is you're going to grow your database at probably 4 or 5 times the speed of what most agents would build it, because you're bringing a incredible value to people. So you'll build this database much more quickly. Then we get into the client consultation. We're going to convert dramatically more clients from our client consultations. And all of this, it has the snowball effect that it builds and leads into way more transactions for you. And I'll tell you the other thing is, you don't have to buy leads. If you're buying leads, I mean, that's a bunch of money. So you don't deal with all the rejection because you're bringing a different value. It's a giving sales process. So we're just giving information, giving invitations, and teaching people. And from that, then we get into the consultations. As I said, you can do all this at home because we do them online, and then we convert them into clients, and off and away we go. Is there any questions we can address?
Yeah, here's a question for you. So these client consultations, how long will they take and how do we set them up?
The client consultations will range. If you're talking a renter, they're simpler. If you're talking younger renters, maybe 30 minutes. As I said, we can do them online, and you reach out to Serena or I. We have other real estate wealth advisors within our organization. So depending on where you are geographically, we can connect you with them. But the client consultation, what's interesting is, and I'm sure you've experienced this, when you do an appointment online, it goes much faster. When someone comes into my office and we sit down, we spend a little bit more time with kind of the pleasantries of getting to know each other a little bit more. And the appointments generally will run 50 minutes to an hour. I usually allocate an hour for these client consultations. When they're online, they tend to go a little bit faster, because people, they're just more focused when they're online in that. It's just kind of a different mindset. So they're more like, as I said, 30 minutes if they're a renter. If they're a homeowner, it's usually 45 minutes. Now, if someone is, let's say someone is a higher net worth person, they own a home, maybe they even have a rental, or they have quite a bit of money in their 401k or IRA. And I'm going to tell you the other thing with these client consultations, what's awesome, is the more analytical they are, the easier they are. Normally, most salespeople hate the engineers of the world and the really analytical people, because they dive into the numbers so deeply and they're so detailed. But for us, it's just the opposite. The truth of the matter is we're really not selling. Here's why there's no rejection, because we're not trying to sell them. Here's what sells is we're educating, we're teaching, we are helping. We are, our process of helping and giving information and teaching them this process, and the fact that there's virtually no competition, it's easy to get into the conversation. Then we get into the appointments, and the reason the conversion rate is so high is because I basically show them and say, look, here's where you are right now. If you keep doing what you're doing, and we run we use our calculators and we run some numbers and we show them, say, based on where you are and what you're doing, here's where you're going to end up. Here's what inflation is going to do to you. And we show them the problem that they have and why they're going to struggle to the day they die. And they say, let me show you the solution. And so then we go through that. Now, if you're dealing with high net worth people, those are the clients you want because they do lots of deals, right? So some of those we might do a couple, 2, 3 appointments, but it ends up passing because we had one doctor that came in. It was really funny to me, where the realtor was farming. Now this was before COVID, right before COVID hit. The realtor was just going around farming, and the doctor said, I'm thinking about investing in real estate. I have all my money in stocks. And the agent reached out and said, hey, Mark's got this real estate wealth academy. Let's set up an appointment. Now they booked the appointment, came in. The agent didn't come in. They should have been there, I think, but they didn't come in. They just turned it over to us, and I did the client consultation. Anyway, long story short, the doctor had $2.5 million in the stock market. And when I got in showing him that he'd do so much better in real estate, and we analyzed that, and he left. I said, okay, think about what you want to do. Because the decision was made, he's going to invest in real estate. So I said, think about how much you want to invest, and then let's get back. So we booked an appointment. A week later, he came back. He said, we want to take $2 million of the 2.5 invest in properties. And so they decided to use about $250,000 of property. So that's 8 properties, and went back to the agent, and off they went. So that's what's possible, those kinds of scenarios.
I'm just going to put up on the screen briefly just what that client information sheet looks like. We have this in PDF format, and we also have a link that you can send your clients to complete as much of this information as possible. This really helps us during the client consultations. And then I wanted to just reflect back on our website briefly. So I'll make sure this is our homepage. There's a slider that comes across here, and you'll see that there's these are our live monthly webinars, and I wanted to just call your attention to the 2 events that we have coming up. So next week, Wednesday, the 17th at 6:30 p.m. is our Build Wealth and Retire Without Saving Money Through Real Estate, and that's for consumers. I would encourage any of you who are new to the Real Estate Wealth Academy to definitely get on that webinar. And if you have some friends or family members or just people that you care about in general, that I believe would be helped just by hearing this information, definitely get them registered. And then on Saturday, March 27th, I believe that's the last Saturday of the month, that would be the last Saturday of the month, is our Why Renting is a Financial Disaster. And again, if you're new to the Wealth Academy, please join us on that webinar. This is a really key webinar for people that are renting, that think renting is way better and safer than home ownership, and we're going to prove that wrong. But please join us there. And if you know anybody renting right now that you'd like to see get into the housing market, this would be a great opportunity. We convert a considerable amount of consumers just from the webinars, because by the time they're done with the webinar, their next question is, what do I need to do next? And it's really just get into a consultation with us. So those are the 2 upcoming events that we have. I don't see any more questions in the queue right now.
I just want to address one last thing. This client information sheet, it's like a mini balance sheet. If you're talking to a prospect and you don't know them very well, you've just had the initial conversations, here's the question you want to ask them. Said, look, we can schedule a free wealth building consultation, and in this consultation, we're going to show you how you can triple the wealth growth and retirement income of your 401k or IRA. Now, if you would like a personalized custom plan, then we have a client information sheet that I need you to fill out. If you just want to do an initial consult and not get into, because a lot of people, if they don't know you well, they're going to be uncomfortable revealing all their financial information. But you can say, look, if you just want to do an initial consult, and here's how I take those conversations, is that what we do is, instead of, now if we have real numbers, that's the best, right? But let's say we don't have any numbers. Here's the way we do the consultation. is I said, look, let me show you the numbers of what our typical client looks like. And we just take kind of the mid-level range of someone that's kind of middle income, middle assets, and so on. And we review those. And when people see those numbers, their numbers are generally pretty close. They might be a little bit more or a little bit less, but they get the point. And here's why the conversion rate is so high, is we're not trying to sell them on something. Here's what we're doing, is we're teaching them that not only is real estate their best path for building wealth, their safest path for building wealth, but it's really, for 90% of these people, it's their only path. And when they understand that, here's what they say at the end, is I get it. What do I do now? That's what I hear at virtually the end of every meeting. I get it. What do I do now? I said, well, here's what we do now. We get your pay stubs, your W-2s, your tax returns, your bank statements. We're going to determine what your buying power is, and we're going to line up investment opportunities. And then you as an agent, we know what their range is. We have you pull 2 or 3 listings. Then we run financial reports. In other words, we have all kinds of free reports. You haven't seen all the other marketing. This is just like 2% of what we do. But we will do a return on investment analysis on properties because they're not the same. We'll do financial forecasting reports on different types of real estate and what the differences are. How many residential agents doing this? But we do all the complicated stuff. So I don't want you to worry about that. We do the complicated stuff and do all the reports. And then once you have all that, you sit there and you get in the conversations. I'm telling you, it's game over. Zillow cannot compete with that. The other agents cannot compete. And then they understand, because see, here's what you're selling: a better life. Who doesn't want to buy a better life? Who doesn't want to buy financial security, a better life, retirement, and even a legacy of wealth? They all want that. That's what you're really selling. All right, well, I'm Mark Prater. I appreciate you being here today. And if you want to get involved with what we're doing, let us know, and we'll get you involved. If you want to do the landing page and so on, we'll get you the schedule for our next video shoot. Great week.
Thank you, everyone.